Hi friends, Allie here. In today's tutorial, we're going to be making the Picot Pumpkin. You can use a medium weight, bulky weight, or super bulky weight yarn to create a small, medium, or large size pumpkin. In today's video, we're going to be using the bulky weight to make the medium, but you can follow along with any size that you want. This pattern uses the Picot single crochet, which is one of my favorite stitches, and it creates these tiny little baubles, and these are going to be staggered around the whole pumpkin. If you've never used a Picot single crochet stitch before, I do show you quickly in the video how to make it, but I do have another tutorial for that as well, so I'll leave a link for that below. I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. This pumpkin is a lot of fun to make, and it gives a unique texture to your crochet pumpkins. So if you're ready to get started, let's head over to our supply list and let's get started. For the small size pumpkin, you will need a 4mm or G hook and a medium 4-weight yarn. For the medium size pumpkin, you will need a 6mm or J hook and a bulky 5-weight yarn. For a large size pumpkin, you will need a 7mm hook and a super bulky 6-weight yarn. Additional supplies include a stitch marker, yarn needle, scissors, fiberfill stuffing, and you'll also need something for your pumpkin stem. Today I will be using a stick that I cut off from a branch, and it's about 1 to 2 inches long. Check out the description box below for links to all of the items I've shown. We're going to start by making a magic circle. So we're going to take our short end here, we're going to wrap it around our pointer finger and our middle finger, wrap it around once, cross it over when you come to the back of your hand, take your hook, and we're going to grab that second loop, pull it under that first loop, flip it up, and we're going to secure this with a chain 1. So here is our magic circle, and inside of our magic circle we are going to work 8 single crochets. So single crochet 8 times, working in that circle and crocheting around our 2 strands here. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I'm just going to take the short tail end here and pull that, and that's just going to cinch that hole closed. So for this pattern, we're going to be working in the round, and we're not going to be joining at the end of each round. So we're going to work straight into that next stitch. We're going to work our first stitch of the next round, which is going to be a single crochet. So we're going to single crochet into that next stitch, no joining. So since we're not joining, I'm going to grab my stitch marker and just put that on that stitch so I don't lose my place. And then I'm going to work another single crochet into that same stitch. So we're going to be working 2 single crochets into each stitch around for round 2. So just working 2 single crochets into each stitch around for a total of 16 single crochets around. Okay, so I have 16 single crochets around. Now we are on to round 3. Again, working straight into that first stitch there. We're going to work 1 single crochet. And then into the second stitch, we are going to work 2 single crochets. And then we're going to work 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch. And we're going to repeat that all the way around for round 3, 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch. I'm just on the last stitch here, so I'm going to work 2 single crochets into that very last stitch, and our stitch count is now at 24. We're going to carry on increasing. So for round 4, we are going to work 1 single crochet into the first stitch, 1 single crochet into the second stitch, and then 2 single crochets into the third stitch. We're going to repeat that, 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochets into the next. Repeat that all the way around, 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch. Just coming up to the last stitch, and in the last stitch I'm going to work 2 single crochets. So at the end of round 4, our stitch count is now at 32. We're going to do one more increase round. So we are going to work 1 single crochet into the first stitch, 1 single crochet into the second stitch, and 1 single crochet into the third stitch, and then work 2 single crochets into the fourth stitch. We're just going to repeat that around. So that's 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch. 1 single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, and then 2 single crochets in the next. Just repeat that around for round 5. I'm just coming up to the last stitch here. So in the last stitch I'm going to work 2 single crochets, and at the end of round 5 our stitch count is now at 40. So this is what the base of our pumpkin looks like now. If you want to make your pumpkin any larger, you can continue on increasing, but we're going to stop here. So now we are on to round 6, and for round 6 we're going to start our picot single crochet stitches. So we're going to work a picot single crochet into the very first stitch. So these are the bumpy stitches. So to work a picot single crochet stitch, we are going to insert our hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through that first loop on our hook, yarn over, pull through that first loop on our hook again, yarn over, pull through that first loop on our hook one more time. So here we have a chain 3 on our hook right there. So we're going to yarn over and pull through both the loops on our hook, push that chain 3 back, and then single crochet into the next stitch. So there you can see our picot single crochet stitch, and it's poking out. It's going to be poking out on the wrong side of our work, so it's going to be on the opposite side. So as we keep working this up, all of our picot single crochet stitches are going to be on the inside of our pumpkin. So then when we're at the end, we're going to flip it inside out, and all of those bumpy stitches are going to be on the outside. So don't be surprised as you work this up that all your bumpy stitches are going to be on the inside of our pumpkin, but we're going to be working this inside out, and then we flip it outside the right way, and all of our bumpy stitches will be shown on the outside. So we just worked a picot single crochet. I didn't put a stitch marker on that, so I'm going to do that. And then I worked a single crochet into the next stitch. So we are going to work another single crochet into the next stitch, and a single crochet into the next stitch. So we're going to repeat what we've done from the beginning. So we're going to work a picot single crochet into the next stitch. So we'll insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first loop on our hook, yarn over, pull through the first loop on our hook, yarn over, pull through the first loop on our hook, yarn over, pull through both loops on our hook, push that chain 3 back, single crochet into the next stitch, single crochet into the next stitch, single crochet into the next stitch. So for round 6, we are just going to repeat that all the way around. So picot single crochet into the next stitch, single crochet into the next 3 stitches. We're going to repeat that all the way around for round 6. I'm just coming up to the last few stitches. So at the end of round 6, our stitch count is still at 40. So now we're on to round 7. And for rounds 7 and 8, we are just going to be working 1 single crochet into each stitch around. So for the next 2 rounds, we are just working 1 single crochet into each stitch around for a total of 40 single crochets in each round. So I'm just going to continue around, and I'll catch up with you guys when we get to round the end of round 8. I'm just coming up to the end of round 8. So our stitch count should still be at 40. And this is what we're looking like so far. So when we're all done, we'll flip this and you'll see all those bumpy stitches on the outside. So now we are on to round 9. So we're going to work another round of our picot single crochet stitches. So we're going to start off by working 1 single crochet into the first stitch. One single crochet into the second stitch, and 1 single crochet into the third stitch, and then we're going to work a picot single crochet into the next stitch. And we're going to work a single crochet into the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then picot single crochet into the next stitch. And then 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. We're just going to repeat that all the way around for round 9. So that's 1 picot single crochet into the next stitch, and then single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. I'm getting close to the end here now. I have 4 stitches left. So I'm going to work my 3 single crochets, and then I have 1 stitch left. So I'm going to work my picot single crochet into that last stitch. So then when we reach the end of round 9, our stitch count is still at 40. So we still have to finish off this picot single crochet. So we're going to single crochet into that next stitch. So that's the first stitch for round 10. So work 1 single crochet, and that counts as our first stitch of round 10. And for rounds 10 and 11, we're just going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch around. So just continue around for a total of 40 single crochets around. We're going to do that twice for rounds 10 and 11. Just work 1 single crochet into each stitch around. So I'm just coming up to the end of round 11. So our stitch count is still at 40. So for round 12, we are going to work 1 single crochet into the first stitch, 1 single crochet into the second stitch, and then we're going to work our picot single crochet into the next stitch. And then we're going to work 1 single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. So 1 single crochet, 2 and 3, and then we're going to work a picot single crochet into the next stitch, and then single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. Picot single crochet into the next stitch, and single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. We're just going to repeat that around for round 12. Picot single crochet into the next stitch, then work 1 single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. I have 2 stitches left, so I'm going to picot single crochet into that second last stitch, and then single crochet into that last stitch. So we just reached the end of round 12, so our stitch count is still at 40. And this is what it's looking like. So this is what the outside looks like, and then when we flip it, you can see all of our picot single crochet stitches. So now we're going to start to decrease to close up the top. If you wanted to make your pumpkin any taller, you can repeat what we've been doing and do another 2 rounds of single crochets, and then go back and repeat from round 6, and then you can just make it as tall as you want from there. But we're going to start to decrease. So I'm going to flip this back. So we're going to start our decrease by working 1 single crochet into each of the first 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to single crochet 2 together. And we're going to repeat that all the way around for round 13. Single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, and then single crochet 2 together. I'm just coming up to the end of round 13. I have 2 stitches left, so I'm going to single crochet 2 together. So at the end of round 13, our stitch count is now at 32. For round 14, we are going to single crochet in each of the first 2 stitches. That's 1, 2, and then we're going to single crochet 2 together. We're going to repeat that all the way around for round 14. 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then single crochet 2 together. I'm just coming up to the end of round 14. The last 2 stitches, I'm going to work a single crochet 2 together. So now at the end of round 14, our stitch count is now at 24. We are going to work 1 more decrease round. So round 15, we're going to work 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then single crochet 2 together. Repeat that all the way around. 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then single crochet 2 together. I just have 2 stitches left, so I'm going to single crochet 2 together. So at the end of round 15, our stitch count is now at 16, and we're going to end here. I'm going to remove my stitch marker, and into that very first stitch I'm just going to tie off. So I'm going to join with a slip stitch, chain 1, and cut off my yarn. You want to leave enough yarn that you're going to be able to weave through these last stitches and then pull through. So I'm going to say about 12 inches or so. So leave a long tail, and then just pull that through and pull tight. So now I'm going to flip this inside out, right side out, however you want to see it, so that our bumpy stitches are facing the outside. And that's how that should look. Our picot single crochets are staggered, just like that. So now we're going to stuff our pumpkin with our fiber fill stuffing. You can add as much or as little as you want. The more you add, the stiffer your pumpkin will be. The less you add, the squishier it will be. So it's really up to you. I have a couple handfuls in here so far. I'll add a little bit more. And once you have it how you want it, we're going to take this tail end here, this long tail end we have, grab our yarn needle, and we're just going to weave this tail end through those last 16 stitches. Now I'm just back at the beginning here. So once you weave through all of those stitches, we're just going to pull that tight, and that's just going to close up that top hole. So you want to pull it nice and tight, but you want to leave a hole at the top for your pumpkin stem to fit through. So if you want to grab your pumpkin stem just so you see what size it is, and just leave a hole big enough for that. And then we want to cinch down the top to give it more of that pumpkin shape. So what we're going to do is keep our yarn attached. You're going to insert it through that top hole, and we're going to bring it to the bottom of the pumpkin, straight through that bottom hole, and pull tight. Okay, so we're going to pull it down, and if you watch, you can see it cinch that down, so it gives it more of that pumpkin shape. So we're going to pull it down, and then you're going to secure it to the bottom. So if you still have your tail end from the very beginning, I'm just going to tie those together and then weave them in. If you already cut yours off or weaved it in, you can just secure it to the bottom of your pumpkin. But you just want to make sure that you're holding it tight as you're doing it to keep this cinched down. And we're just going to tie these off. Once you have it nice and secure, you can just weave in any ends you have left behind. And there we go. So this is the bottom of the pumpkin, and here is the top. So if you just grab your pumpkin stem and you can put that in, and then you can add any other little things that you have, little leaves or berries or anything else to decorate your pumpkin. But this is what our medium-sized Picot pumpkin looks like. Thank you so much for following along. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram and Facebook. You can find this pattern and many more free patterns on my blog, whoshomemade.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.